Smokey Robinson is an absolute gentleman. Okay, now, I mean, he gonna be gentlemanly enough to get your draws. I mean, he gooped the Claudette. Poor Miss Claudette. Oh, I love you, Miss Claudette. You are still a very beautiful woman, but he gooped you, girl. Bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com for this Hilda hat. We got it in white on black and black on black. Oh, thank you. I just got to cash up. Thank you, my lady. And if you are not already a part of Opera Club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Smokey Inside My Life by Smokey Robinson with David Ritz. Claudette's sexiness wasn't doing me any good. And to make matters worse, she'd met someone else, a guy named Raleigh Hall. I was 16. Raleigh was 20. I was a high school kid. Raleigh was an army man. And oh man, jealousy spread over me like a torrid fever. I was afraid of being shot down even after Raleigh went off to Germany. He was a soldier and I was a nobody. He was writing her twice a week, and soon I learned he was asking her to marry him. And Lord, if she did, I'd die. This was the girl of my dreams, and suddenly it looked like my dream was turning into a nightmare. Soon she'd be gone. You like this guy, don't you? I'd asked. He's nice, she answered. Extremely nice. I couldn't escape the obsession. I was upset around graduation time because I'd invited someone else, not Claudette, to the prom. He is everywhere. Oh my God, this ninja is everywhere. You hear me? Oh my God, he is completely ran by his emotions. What Smokey ended up doing, there go Lou snoring. It just wouldn't be right if his ass wouldn't snore. What he did was he invited one girl to the fucking prom, okay? But he was obsessed with Claudette. I don't understand why you just didn't invite Claudette in the first daggone place. This is what I'm saying. He is nuts. He is ruled by his emotions. He cannot think straight. You know, it's like Smokey Robinson falls in love with each person in that moment. Like, I'm with Claudette. I'm madly in love with Claudette. Okay, tomorrow I made love to Adam May. Ooh, Adam May. Ooh, Adam May. I love you. Lulu, why you got to snore when mommy is working? You know, so I could see in the moment him asking somebody else to the prom. Smokey didn't ask this poor girl to go to the prom, right? He go to his sister and is like, oh, I'm about to tell that girl I don't want to take her. And the big sister was like, oh, no, the you ain't. Because that little girl then already bought her dress, Smokey. What is you talking? Smokey like, I don't care. I'm asking Claudette. I love her. Thank you, the Jesus, that the big sister is who she is. Because she was like, I tell you what, if you break that little girl's heart and take Claudette to the prom, you won't leave this mother hunchy house for a month. Smokey said, okay. All right. I mean, she my big sister, but she also my mama right now. So I guess I'll be taking that girl to the prom. He said he couldn't really have fun with the girl at the prom. So he went off and started smoking the herb or the ganja, whatever it was that he called it, with his friends. I'm saying to myself, oh, you had fun with that girl at the prom. You probably made sure you asked the girl who you know would give you the pastanka afterwards. Meanwhile, a force was moving me in a different direction. It was a musical force. But I believe it was also a spiritual force. I didn't know it, but I was about to meet my destiny. I graduated from Northern High School in June 1957. Rather than start Highland Park Junior College in September, I decided to take a break and not begin till January. The big meeting came in August. Despite my insecurity about Claudette, things were happening. The Hawk, even with its unreliable brakes, was taking me where I needed to go. The Matadors were rehearsing, playing a few hops and staying sharp when a cat named Harold, Ronnie White's cousin, gave us the word. Jackie Wilson's people are looking for talent. He clued us. They're auditioning acts. Wow. But just as we went into high gear, Sonny went into the Army. How can you do this to us, man? I argued. We need 5 voices. And I need to get away, he said. How are we going to sing for Jackie's people? Claudette, I thought to myself. Claudette was always on my mind, but this time for musical, not romantic reasons. Claudette had been at our rehearsals. Claudette had been singing with the Matadorettes. Claudette knew our stuff. Why not have Claudette taken her brother's place? Claudette agreed, and we were thrilled. See, that's how you got Claudette, because the brother was overseas fighting a war, if there was a war at that time. But that's how you got a hold of Claudette, because I'm sure the brother didn't want your ass crawling all on top of his innocent sweet sister. Claudette knew our stuff. Why not have Claudette take her brother's place? Claudette agreed, and we were thrilled. With me singing lead, our background blend was set. Claudette on top, Bobby's tenor under her, Ronnie's baritone, and at the bottom, Pete's bass. We usually sing outside songs at parties, stuff being played on the radio. But for the audition, we decided to do 8 songs that I'd written. We were sure that make more of an impression. We were wrong. We get to the office somewhere in Midtown Detroit, and we see 3 guys in the room. The first is Nat Tarnpole, Jackie's manager. The second is Jackie's music man, Alonzo Tucker, who does all the talking. The third is some short guy our age who sits in the corner and doesn't open his mouth. Okay, kids, says Alonzo, show us what you got. We clear our throats. I give a downbeat, and we start singing. Before we get through our program, Alonzo lifts his hand. That's enough, he says. I see what you guys got, and it ain't gonna work. You're not bad, but you got the same setup as the Platters. And who needs another Platters when the Platters are already out there? If I were you, I'd do more of a Mickey and Sylvia type thing. Let the girls sing lead with one of the guys. So go home and work that up and give me a call next time we're in town. See ya. Just like that, it was over. Dejected, downhearted, we left the room and were moping down the hallway when the little guy who'd been sitting in the corner came after us. Hey man, he said. I turned around and looked at him. He was a street dude, short and plainly dressed. Yeah, I asked. Who wrote those tunes you were singing? Me. Even that one about your mama? The one where you're talking about Samson and Delilah? My mama done told me, yeah, that's my song. That's a pretty good song, man. Well, thanks. Some of the other songs wandered, but that one hung together. You work for Jackie? No, I'm a songwriter. I'm Berry Gordy. You're Berry Gordy? Soon as I heard the name, I got excited. I'd always read songwriters' credits on records. Always wanted to know who created this is. And Berry Gordy had written some of Jackie's biggest hits, like Reet Petite. Couldn't believe it was Berry Gordy, though, 'cause he looked so young. His boyish face hid the fact that he was 11 years older than me. Can we talk for a minute? He asked. There's a piano in that room over there. Before we went off by ourselves, I whispered to the cats and Claudette, that's Berry Gordy, and I think he's interested in us. He was. Look, man, he said when we were alone in this tiny room, I don't care what Tucker say. I think your group's all right. How many songs you written? About 100. 100? He started chuckling. I took out my trusty Big Ten notebook and showed him. Hell, I've been writing songs since I popped out of my mama's womb. Well, show me your best ones, he said. As I sang them, he pointed out how they were mostly formless. I'd start on one subject, then move to another. That's what he meant by wandering. Your lyrics rhyme up real good, man. But songs are more than rhymes. Songs need a beginning, middle, and end. Like a story. No one had shown me this before. Gordy played piano, and I sang. And when I was through, he looked up and smiled, assuring me as if we'd been friends for years. Baby, you don't even know. That this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship. But to actually hear someone speak of Berry Gordy from a friendship perspective and not as a artist owner, you know what I'm saying, like owner, because Berry Gordy basically owned you at the Motown. But to hear Smokey talk about Berry Gordy, it makes him human. I'd like to work with your group. I think I can help you. That's great. That's fantastic. But right now, I got to catch up with Jackie. Got another tune for him. What's it called? Lonely Teardrops. Before we left the little room, we exchanged numbers. And when we went out into the hallway, who should be walking towards us but Jackie himself? Super slick in white pants and billowy black silk shirt. Both boxers. Barry and Jackie started a mock match, throwing fake punches that never landed, each declaring a knockout. After being introduced to me and my partners, the soul star made a beeline for Claudette. Oh, we know that Jackie Wilson is hot in the pants from the Etta James. We know that ninja wants to suck on anything smoky. Ooh, he cried. Ain't she a fine thing? Turn round, baby, he urged, gently lifting her hand over her head and watching her do a pirouette. Impressed with her lines, Jackie whistled while Claudette blushed, embarrassed and flattered at the same time. Meanwhile, my head was swimming, my heart flopping like a flounder. So much had happened so quickly: rejection, acceptance, discouragement, encouragement. I wasn't sure where we were headed. It didn't matter, though, because for the first time, someone serious, a dude named Berry Gordy, said he heard something he liked. Let me tell you about my partners. Ronnie White was small and wiry, a cat heavy into jazz. He dug Cal Tjader and Horace Silver. In fact, he introduced me to modern jazz, and I loved it. Loved the percussive flavorings of Max Roach. Loved Clifford Brown's rich and tender tone on trumpet. Ronnie favored Ivy League clothes, little thin ties, and tweedy sport jackets. He was the first dude I knew to wear pants without cuffs. He liked giving off an air of sophistication. He was intellectual. He was street and also funny as hell. We called Pete Moore Pee-wee because he was short and stocky. Pete idolized the gamers, the pimps, and the pool sharks. But he wasn't like that. He had a good heart and excelled at sports. He'd play us at pool with one hand and kick our ass. That wasn't easy, since after we turned 16, we lived in the pool hall. Pete was also a walking sports almanac. He had his women, but he wasn't as girl aggressive as me and Ronnie. Bobby Rogers, though, was the biggest playboy. He was the biggest at everything except taking shit seriously. Bobby was lighthearted and life-loving. He always wanted the biggest houses and the biggest cars. He was a genius mechanic and a great interior decorator, the kind of guy who built everything with his own hands. Aside from Claudette, Bobby was our best dancer. All the cats had quick wit, which is one of the reasons our thing was tight. We liked laughing together. We liked singing together. We even liked rehearsing together. That's just what we were doing the day we met Barry, honing down our harmonies with me revising my tunes according to Gordy's guidelines. During the break, Claudette pulled me aside. "That Barry guy called me," she said. "What? What'd he want?" "He asked me out." Pause.